Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for January 14th. We're going to start out looking at the US Japanese yen pair. I'm expecting this pair to move as high as 90.77, possibly as low as 87.49. Now look for some resistance to come in around 89.71. Look for support around 88.25. This pair moved lower today by a little bit. Consensus is that it is moving sideways. Bias definitely down to the downside. Now looking at the Euro USD pair, this particular pair formed somewhat of a doji bar today. Could see a reversal come. I don't think that's going to happen. I still feel that we're moving down and the bias is to the downside. We are looking for a range though between 1.3463 and on the lower side 129.57. Look for some resistance around 132.86 and look for support around 130.83 in this particular pair. Now switching over to the pound US dollar, we talked about this pair a lot yesterday. This particular pair, we're looking for it to move as high as 1.4857 and as low as 142.89 during this next session. But look for some resistance around 146.95 and look for support around 144.76 in this particular pair. This pair is moving sideways overall. We did form an inside bar, if you notice, and we'll get to that here in a minute, but the bias is to the downside. Now if you're looking to play this inside bar to the upside, it's pretty good distance, and normally I would not suggest this, but I would take a break of the actual inside bar high and look to take out this session's low, showing that it would become new resistance, changing from support to resistance. So basically, buy at this point and then exit at this point. There's roughly 100 pips there to grab. Now what's more likely is that we'll get a move to the downside. If we get a break of this session's low, then go ahead and take it. Look for basically this line, the close here and the open here, and it pretty much pegs the low of this bar, pretty close anyway, and look for the market to move through that area, which is what we'd be looking for off of this inside bar. So that's something to take into account. Now switching over to the US Swiss, this pair continues to move sideways. The bias is definitely to the upside, but it is moving sideways at this time. Now what we're looking for here is this pair to move as high as 1.1335 and as low as 1.1020. Look for some resistance around 112.40 in this pair. There we go. And support at 1.1091. Well, that about does it for the charts today. We did have a trade that we looked at yesterday. This trade did not play out. It was in the pound Swiss. I was looking for a drop basically below this low and looking for it to move much lower down to here. That did not occur, unfortunately, and in this particular example we were stopped out of that trade. But looking ahead to tomorrow, earlier today the US had their advanced retail sales released. It was worse than expected at from negative 2.1%, which was adjusted to the negative, to negative 2.7%. So overall it was bad. Not only did they revise last month's to the downside, they also the numbers were lower than expected this month. Now looking ahead, we have the Euro rate decision being released at 7:45 a.m. Consensus is they're going to drop from 2.5% down to 2%, a 50 basis point move. Now if you want to use the overextended bar during that, at that release, basically let it go and see what happens during the 7 o'clock hour, and then that'll give the market 15 minutes to move into, and then you hit the 8 o'clock hour and you could possibly have an overextended bar trade if it moves the markets all that much. Don't know if it comes out as expected, which most likely it will, how much movement it will happen in the Euro USD, but it's definitely worth taking a look at. Well, that about does it for today. Until tomorrow, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.